problem that most people have when they're memorizing lines is that they're trying to perform their actual performance instead of just focusing on getting the lines down and then working on their actual performance. Today we're going to be taking a real script, an actual script right here from one of my films, and I'm going to be showing you some effective techniques to memorize lines. So if you're ready, climb on board, let's get into it. Today's script that we're going to be working with is a scene out of the film that I just shot called 24 Hours. We're going to be playing the role of a detective. That's something that's pretty much universal anyway, right? Whether male or female. I'm going to put the sides in the link in the description below. So that way, if you actually want to practice this scene, or maybe you want to send in a self-tape audition and I can give you some feedback right here on the channel, I would love to see that. We're going to take this scene and we're going to break it down, and I'm going to give you some actual techniques. I'll show you the technique that I would use to memorize it, and then we'll just hear some other techniques and see how it works. But nonetheless, let's get into it. So the actual scene itself, and you'll see it as it pops up on your screen. All right, so let's take a look at the sides, which you should see right now in front of you. It's roughly about 3-4 pages or so, right? So if you were to get an audition that was 3 or 4 pages, I would say, okay, that's a decent sized like role that you're getting. It's either you're popping into a television series as a supporting role, or you're in a movie. Look, anytime you have actual lines, that is a win for you. That is a win. So there's no such thing. There really is no such thing as a small role. Let's say you're like, oh my God, okay, this is a lot of lines. Like, I don't understand how I'm going to be able to memorize this. Well, lucky for you, you have me here today to help teach you how you're going to memorize your lines. We're going to go through a few different techniques. A lot of times when you're getting sides, you don't know what's happening before and you don't know what's happening after. I know what's happening before and after because I'm the writer, the producer, whatever, right? So I'm honestly just curious to see what your take on the character is going to be. So the biggest thing I would say is not just to dive right into just straight memorizing stuff and choosing choices. I would say you go through at least one time, right? And you read and you make no notes. So that's step one. Go through one time, read. I'm teaching, this is the first method, is my method, right? Go through one time, just read, no notes whatsoever. Then go through a second time and read, no notes whatsoever. Go through a third time, and on your third time, you're going to make notes on the page. And the notes that you want to make on the page the third time is really just like, okay, what do we think is going on in the scene? Are there any lines that pop out to you, right? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to character build. A lot of time people just focus on memorizing lines instead of understanding the character, because when you go into the psychosis of the character and you become that character, it's a lot easier to think about or predict what that person is going to say next, and it feels very much like a natural thing that's occurring, right? So let's say we go through and we see, you know, something that pops out. If I can go through on page 38, right? The detective says, wait a second, aren't you that kid who's supposed to go to the league? That's a moment right there. He's recognizing somebody that he's pulling over. So what does that give us as an inference? Okay, maybe that tells us he's somebody within the community, right? He's from the area or has been working in the area a long time. Like, okay, I'm gonna remember that. That's a moment. I see throughout the script that he's, you know, he's saying some cuss words. Okay, so he's not your regular detective. He's got something a little hard on the edges, right? Then you go back through and you continue to make notes, right? What you want to note is like, what does these thoughts like actually make you think as a normal person, right? And that's going to help you memorize the line too. So we're just at the notes. We're not in like the literal memorization stage. We're just at the note stage, right? We're not even practicing how we're saying it. None of that. We're just writing down notes. Let's go to top of 36. Detective walks up to the car. What's up, gentlemen? No one says anything. You MFers better get to talking because it smells like weed and that gives me the right to search the car. So he's coming in hot, right? Man, we didn't even do nothing. It don't matter if you did something or not. If I pulled y'all punk butts over, that means I feel like y'all did something. By the smell of weed in the car and that dumb look you got on my instincts are telling me that I'm on point. So he's not by the book. It's clear that he's not by the book. All right, so we made it through. Third time, we took our notes. We got some inferences about the character and who the character is, right? Now we're literally going to focus on memorization. We are not going to focus on how we're saying things or when certain things are landing. Then that becomes like a pretend act, right? You want to memorize things based off of actual choices that you're making within the script. And mind you, I'm giving you a short version. If you want a full breakdown, like a full probably 30-minute video about memorization and breaking down scripts for your self-tapes or your auditions, comment in the comments below. Say full breakdown in the comments below, please. All right, so what I'm going to tell you next might be intimidating, but it's going to work. So then the next step of this particular memorization tactic, right, would be to read through a total of 15 times straight. And I'm talking dang near monotone from start to finish. We're not going to do all 15 here because for the sake of time, but you're going to read through 15 times and you're going to read everybody's line 15 times. That's what you're going to do all the way through start to finish 15 times, right? What's up, gentlemen? You MFers better get to talking because it smells like weed and that gives me the right to search the car. Man, we didn't even do anything. It don't matter if you did something or not. I pulled y'all punk butts over. And I mean, it felt like you did something about the smell of the weed in the car, the dumb butt, guilty look. You got my instincts are on point. Smoking weed is legal now. Yeah, it is. But now when you're operating a motor vehicle, you ill MFers. Let me see your ID. They reach for their wallet slowly. The officer pulls a flashlight. Every single part. Yup, slowly. They hand it to him. You two step out of the car. They both exit the car. Detective searches the car. Darnell Flip sits on the curb. The whole point of this is, one, you're doing it over and over and over and over and over again, right? So there's portions of this that you're automatically going to pick up, right, in itself, by itself. And this is what you're doing. You can do this portion by yourself, and you don't even have to have a partner here with you. You're just reading it over and over and over and over and over again, right? As you notice things about your character that make you say, why did he do this? Or maybe I want to do this when he does this. You write your notes 15 times. You're going to go through it, not trying to perform it, not trying to make any type of choice whatsoever, right? Then after you do it the 15th time, right, you're going to come back and now you're going to do it 5 times. 5 times, and you're going to do it like you're acting. You should have a good chunk of it memorized by then, right? But it may not be all the way memorized. You're going to get into character, but you're going to say the thoughts that you have about each line with your character line. So let's say, for example, again, we're at the top of 36. What's up, gentlemen? Maybe the thought that I had before is, as I'm walking up, I'm the detective, I'm the mind detective. I'm finna get these dudes. That's the thought that I had before. So I'm gonna have that written down, right? In maybe a separate color. I'm doing it on the computer, right? So in a separate color, and it says, I'm finna get these dudes, right? And now I do it like this. I'm finna get these dudes. What's up, gentlemen? Whoo, I got them smoked. You MFers better get to talking because it smells like weed. And that gives me the right to search the car. Man, we didn't even do shit. But man, please. That's the thought that I'm having. I'm saying those thoughts. It don't matter if you did something or not. I pulled y'all punk bucks over, so that means y'all act like y'all did something. By the smell of the weed in the car and that dumb guilty look, you got my instincts are on point. Smoking weed is legal now. Yeah, it is. But it's not when you operate in a motor vehicle, you little dumb MFers. That part. And you're going to go through like that, saying the thoughts that you have before the line. And you may not have thoughts before every line, right? You're going to do that 5 full times. 5 full times. Then you're going to come back. And then now you're going to drop the thoughts. And you're going to do this with your portions of it, right? 5 times. That's it. So this last step right here, you need somebody to do it, right? So get a buddy. It's somebody else. If you have no one, mind you, if you want a separate video about how to memorize lines or do self-tapes and stuff by yourself, please in the comments below, comment by yourself, right? So the last person you're going to use somebody for it, right? By this time, we've literally gone through the script like at least 20 something times, right? And you're going to do your portions, and now you're going to go full blown in, right? And you're going to make it all the way through these 4 pages. And at the end of those 4 pages, I'm going to say at least 85% should be memorized, right? So now this portion you're doing with somebody else is probably only about 30 minutes that you're taking up with somebody else's time. You're going to identify the lines that you don't know or the sections that you don't know, and you just go over those sections by itself with that person, right? Till you get the lines down and you make your choices. Once you make your choices, it's time for you to film it and record it. So that's method number 1. Method number 2 that we have, again, we're using these sides as examples. It's about 4 pages and it's from the film that I just shot called 24 Hours. All right, so what you do for this, I guess I just call this voice memo method. And it really is just strictly for memorization. Let's say you don't have somebody you could practice with, you're not trying to waste somebody's time. This is what you can do yourself. So on your phone, you have a voice memo, or maybe you have Audacity on your computer or whatever, just anything that you can use to record it, right? And it's so simple. All you're going to do is in your head, you're going to read the spots that are yours. So in this case, we're the detective, right? You're going to read the spots that are yours and say it how you think you would say it. I know you haven't really made all your choices yet, but say it how you think you're going to say it in your head, not out loud. And then you're going to read every other character out loud, right, on the voice memo. You're going to record the voice memo, and then you're going to say it over and over again. So for this, well, what I'll do is I'll do the first 2 pages, and I'm going to demonstrate for you. So you're going to make the recording. That's the first step. Just make the recording, right? Okay. And again, so because the first line is "What's up, gentlemen?" I'm saying that in my head. I'm not saying it out loud. So it might look weird on camera, but it is what it is. This is how you do it. I'm going to press record. Man, we didn't even do squat. Smoking weed is legal now. He's moving stuff around. Relax. I put something in different areas. You should only try to find it. Can't believe he brung all the money he had with us. All the money we had. Since when did you start speaking French? You haven't pulled in no work to get anything. Well, being with you for a while out here wilding makes it half of mine too. Hey man, you ain't find nothing, so... All right, that's the full voice memo, right? Seems like a lot of gaps, but this is what we're gonna do, right? Now you're gonna start off when you do this by just going through probably 10 times looking at the pages, right? And then as you get further along in it, maybe it doesn't take you all 10, but as you get further along in it, you should be able to go without looking at the pages, right? And this is what's going to test you to know that you know the actual lines. This is for knowing the actual lines. You use the same method too, by the way. If you need to record a self-tape by yourself, you can have an audio recording of the other lines playing, and then you say the lines to the camera and perform the lines. That's your characters. Comment below if you want a whole video recording about techniques to do this. Let's do it. What's up, gentlemen? You MFers better get to talking because it smells like weed and that gives you the right to search the card.
We didn't even do squat.
It don't matter if you did something or not. I pulled y'all punk bucks over. So that means I think you did something. By the smell of the weed in car.
Smoking weed is legal now.
Yeah, it is, but not when you're operating a motor vehicle, you little dumb MFers. Let me see your ID. Yup. Slowly. You two step out of the car.
He's moving stuff around. Relax. I put something in different areas. You should only try to find it. Can't believe he brought all the money he have with us. All the money we have. Since when did you start speaking French? You haven't pulled in no work to get anything? Well, being with you for a while out here, wilding makes it half of mine too.
You two shut the F up over there. I'm working.
Hey man, you ain't find nothing, so.
Bingo. And so, mind you, my spacing was a little off, right? It was a little too fast. All right, so I might go back through and record it just so I can get my timing right. Like re-record now, I got my spacing, how I'm gonna say it and all that, right? So you do that. And then the next final step is just literally keep doing it until you're 100% off book, meaning you don't have to look down at your lines, right? And you have the lines already locked in. Once you have the lines locked in, then I suggest, if you've looked at method number 1, to go back through, take notes and make your choices about, why you're making certain decisions and why things sound a certain way. And if you do that, you're on your way, big dog. You're on the way. The next one, which is what most people do, is the buddy system, right? So you could literally just, like I said, focus on the lines, use somebody else with you, and then you go read it over and over again, back and forth. What I suggest you to do, though, regardless if you're going to use the buddy method or any one of the methods that I taught you here today, is you break it up into sections, right? So focus on a section at a time, or in this case, it's 4 pages. Focus on 1 page at a time. You could say, I'm going to memorize these 4 pages over the course of an hour, right? You're like, I'm gonna memorize all 4 of these pages over the course of an hour, which means you would spend 15 minutes on each page doing whatever method that you want. I'm just going to memorize the lines. See, the problem that most people have when they're memorizing lines is that they're trying to perform their actual performance instead of just focusing on getting the lines down and then working on their actual performance. And when you get the lines down, it frees you up to work on your actual performance and make choices. Because if you're too busy thinking about lines, then you're not going to be in the moment and in character. You're going to just be performing lines, and it's going to come off that way. I want you to stay away from that. So focus on getting down the lines first. Then you add the little sauce that you need to add into the character. Now, mind you, you probably need to do a full character breakdown. So if you need somebody to teach you how to do a full character breakdown, that's another video. Go ahead and comment in the comments below, character breakdown in the comments below, and I'll make a video about how you break down a character to help improve your acting performance. But today we were strictly focused on memorization. I just gave you 3 methods that you can use immediately. 2 of those methods you could pretty much do 100% by yourself, and the last portions of it you can get anybody to help you out with. So if you enjoy those today, then just let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button, sub button, bell button. Love ya. Gotta go.